Welcome back, everybody, to the Behind the Brand podcast. My name is Curtis and I am the host. And today we've got a brand new business with us. We have Liam from the LSP Compliance Group. How are you doing?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm all right. Thank you very much for coming along.
Thanks for inviting me here.
I know. Well, listen, thanks very much for reaching out as well. It's always good to get a new business in.
Absolutely. It's been something exciting. Podcasting is something that's out there and
it's massive at the minute.
Massive, and it's something I've always been interested in, even just getting on one, you know what I mean? So it's exciting to just be here.
Well, welcome. Studio 23 welcomes you.
Thank you very much. I feel
welcomed.
welcomed.
Weird, doesn't it? Studio 23 welcomes you.
Is that a cult in here?
Just when they're out the door. No, but listen, Liam is here to tell us all about his semi brand new business, because obviously you'll go into a wee bit of backstory hopefully with the business and how it came to be and things like that as well, and to find out, because I've obviously had a wee snoop over your socials and things like that as well, and you seem to cover a lot as well, which I'm hoping that we'll obviously get to the nitty gritty of. So before we do start though, we tend to get the guest to just introduce himself. Would you be alright doing so?
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Liam Petrie, Managing Director of the LSP Compliance Group. I'm also a fully qualified and chartered environmental health officer. So I've been an EHO for 9 years now, worked up in Aberdeen locally. I've just worked in Glasgow City and now ventured out on my own to kind of do this brand new venture of mine. I'd say new, but I've been doing it on the side for about a year with local businesses, and now I've ventured out into Glasgow and Edinburgh, and then hopefully up northeast.
So you're really
Aberdeen.
taking over.
I am going to be the brand name of Scotland. That's the plan.
Not here to take part, here to take over.
You know what? Exactly. I don't just do things small. You know what I mean? That's not me. So that's kind of, and obviously as an EHO, the level of skills that we develop is huge. It's food safety, health and safety, events, licensing, waste management, public health, pollution, waste. It's the sector is massive, but we focus on primarily just smaller kind of food, health and safety, and events and licensing and training is what we kind of focus on at the moment.
And that's for businesses and things like that, companies.
Yeah, so we've started off smaller companies that are maybe needing a bit more help.
Right.
Coming from a local government background, it's a wee bit different. Local government's very much enforcement. Do it. I'm not telling you how to do it. You just have to do it.
Yes,
because it's very difficult within local government. You might know is very much, you've got codes of practice you need to stay by. So you're not allowed to you can give advice, but you can't give that much advice that it calls into the realm of consulting, which is what I do. So that's kind of where we are. So that's kind of how I ventured into, I actually find it more exciting to help businesses and push them in the direction where they need to go instead of just telling them what to do and then
I was going to say you're just basically do that, fix it, whatever, kind of give them the tools.
Yeah, and it's very much in Glasgow, it's quick, fast paced. We don't have time to sit down with you and hold your hand. It's you've got to do this, do it now, or that's it, you're done basically.
And is that just in Glasgow, do you think?
No,
like that, or is that
bigger cities, yes, because environmental health is a great profession. Don't get me wrong, I love it. I do love the job and I love everything about the job, but the problem is it's very hard to get into. You have to go to university for 4 years and then you have to do a year's placement plus professional interviews at the end of your placement. So it's a long process.
So it could really put somebody off if they're like, it's a bit too much.
But then the doors that open for you when you get into it is huge. Because you don't need to just work in local government. You could work in the public, like the private sector, Scottish Water, HSC. So because you're disciplined in multiple factors, your doors are open for anything. Like what I'm doing now. If I didn't do the job I did, I wouldn't be where I am now. And I'm very grateful for everybody that helped me during my training. And then obviously just colleagues, you know what I mean? Because the knowledge you get from people that have maybe worked in the industry 15, 20, 30 years, I've had that.
You've got that bundle of experience when it comes to actually doing the job.
Exactly.
As much as your business is say new as such, you do have the backup experience to say that
exactly
you know what you're talking about, you know exactly what to do.
And that's kind of what I love. And obviously because we do audits on businesses as well, because I have that enforcement background, I kind of know what you're looking for and what you need to be compliant. Hence the compliance sector of the name. And that's kind of the focus of it, is to make sure businesses are staying compliant, maintaining compliance, and making sure they're safe.
Do you find a lot of businesses come to you, or do you find yourself having to go to a lot of businesses?
Recently, no. It's been very much the phone's not stopped. People phoning being like, got your name off of such and such, please can you help? Or even for advice and guidance, I'm open for that as well. You know what I mean? It's not just money. It's not what I'm there for. I'm there to make sure if people are needing help and assistance, then we're there. And that's kind of where we're wanting to grow.
Do you tend to find there's like a certain time of the year when everybody's just like, oh, I need to get this done? Or is it like an all year round thing?
It's just an all year round thing. And the benefit, I would say, for me is there's not very much of what I do out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you have.
It was well, even when you obviously approached, I was like, I don't think I know many of these sort of things. When you start to talk about it more, I'm like, I remember like local councils coming into, like, especially the workplace that I'm in. I was like, I'm aware of that, but I wasn't aware of anyone doing it.
No,
out with that as such.
And exactly. So there is other consultants out there, but they're normally focused on one area. So maybe they just do food, or maybe they just do health and safety, or maybe they just do licensing. But because we're a multidisciplinary business, we encapsulate all of that. And the whole plan to go forward is we are the one-stop shop for everybody. So one bill and that's it. So in the distant future, we're wanting to encompass it: pest control, waste management, and then, trade standards, all the other kind of enforcement areas, and then take it all together. So somebody goes, here, I need a pest control, food safety management system, health and safety, all that. We can say, right, well, for this cost, you get all that. And then it's basically, if something happens, you pick up the phone, it's one phone number, and that's it. So it's making it very easy for you, because I think that's the difficult these days. Is you've got a business that'll have food, waste management, pest control, this, that, and they don't know, like, there's just too many of them nowadays for folk to go, right, okay, right, who do I go to?
Who do I actually contact? Yeah.
And
there's no one-stop shop.
No, exactly. And if you pick up a phone call to a big company, they'll be like, oh, somebody get back to you in so many days, or that's not, I want to be in a position where you pick up the phone, you're going to get somebody, because I know what it's like being on hold for 45 minutes waiting to get to somebody, and you just want to go like, and it's just irritating, because I know I've been on the other side of the phone where I'm getting really irate, because it's just please press 1 to talk to, and I'm like, right,
it's nothing worse in the music.
And then you go 0 0 0 0 trying to get through to somebody to actually talk to, and that's where businesses get frustrated, and that's when they lapse, and that's when things just go completely wrong, because they just go, well, you know what, there's no point. So
I would be the same. I'd be like, I'm not going to bother with them.
No.
Do you do this all by yourself then, or do you have a team that you're working?
In the moment, it's just me. Right. I've done this fully self-funded, so I've not got any investors or any debt. It's just very much, I started the business with 1p in my business account, because that's what you need to open it. And then within the first week, I had like 5 or 6 clients, and it just took off, because the thing about me is I'm very much a people person. They come talk to me and I'll tell them straight what it is. A spade's a spade. You know what I mean? If you're minging, you're minging. I'll tell you that. I'm not going to beat around the bush.
I think that's the thing. You can't really beat around the bush with these sort of things. Because say you obviously go and do the job, whatever, and it comes to it, then somebody out with comes and looks at the job, and they'll be like, well, where did you get all this sort of thing from? You'll be like, well, I had.
Yeah, exactly. And business owners, a lot of people will open a business but not run the business. They'll open it and then they'll have people in.
Yes.
So what they're wanting me to do is to go in there to teach management how to deal with a situation when it arises, because people don't know that. Management will go in and they think they know what they're doing, and then an EHO will walk in and they'll go, oh, actually, that's actually the head chef that deals with it. I'm like, right, but you need to understand as well how the business is to be run.
Caution, stuff like that.
Everything. So even if you just ask them, where's your food safety management system? And they'll look at you and they go, the hell is that? It's just simple things like that will get an EHO's back up and be like, you have no idea what you're talking about. And that's what I'm trying to do, is to trying to ease that off a wee bit for people to go in and go, yeah, just head downstairs, don't worry about it. Like, they'll take care of you. If you need anything, give us a shout.
Aye.
That's what you're wanting. You don't want people going in and being absolutely stressed out, scared, and just being like, because that's what happens as soon as it's, I mean, I shouldn't laugh, but it's funny when you go into businesses and they stare at you and they just go, I don't know what to do.
And worried that you're going to nitpick all the bad things as such, and you're there to do that as such because you're only doing it to make them get better.
Exactly.
You're not doing it in a nasty way where you're like, change that. That's wrong.
No,
that's horrible.
Exactly.
Why are we doing that in the first place?
Correct.
I'm going to report you to whatever it is.
Exactly.
Your job is there to guide and to train.
Yes.
And to
make sure they're on the right path to success, basically, because that's what all businesses want. And I've been trying to say to people that within Glasgow and the surrounding area, the biggest problem we have is mice and rats.
Yep.
That is the biggest issue. Any local city is the same.
Yeah.
And a lot of businesses, that's where they struggle, is how do we control the situation? You can get pest control in, that's fine. You can do this and do that. But having the actual knowledge of what is it I'm looking for is what people look. And that's why I come in and go, right, this is what you need to look for. This is the signs, these are that. These are the controls you need to have. But in local government, there's only so much I can do.
Yep.
Like there was only so much I could sit down with somebody and say to them, like, this is what you need to do. Because again, I didn't have the time for that. I had like 700 businesses to deal with, you know what I mean? And not even that's just food. Then you had your health and safety plus like big events, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm intrigued to know about some of that sort of stuff.
Yeah, well. Absolutely. So we'll go, events is something I love. I love events. I always have. Love doing it. And licensing is my biggest thing. I love it.
When you say like events though, what kind of events have you done in the past? Or
so I work closely with Paisley First.
Oh, right, okay.
With Natalie. So I'm Paisley First's EHO.
Oh,
so
brilliant.
I kind of do any of the events they do with, I'm kind of there on hand. So food vendors, health and safety stuff, I'm there to make sure things are running smoothly. If something goes wrong, I'm there. Kind of, it takes that stress off of Paisley First a wee bit, so they can go, well, actually, we've got an EHO here. He can deal with it, which is fine because that's what I'm there to do.
You're there to tick the boxes, make sure it's all working for you.
And then I've got a couple of things in the pipe works coming up for this year, which is quite exciting. So Christmas, hopefully getting involved with the Christmas markets.
Oh, brilliant.
So kind of getting involved with these guys, but it's still in the cards, so can't say anything officially yet, but it is coming. And then
can't put it on record.
Can't put it on record yet. And then kind of some other big companies I've got meetings with as well to kind of not just here, but down in Manchester, Dundee, Edinburgh, Aberdeen.
So you're really starting to take it kind of.
It's getting to a stage where the next stage is going to be a team member, because it's hard now doing it all on my own. Because you think opening your business, this is great, I'll just go do it all, but then you always forget about everything behind the scenes, policies, your procedures, this, that, and I'm like, how the hell am I going to have time to write all that, plus do all this, plus go and do that? And I didn't go into business to kill myself, you know what I mean? I went in business to have fun, enjoy it, and make money. You know what I mean?
Make money, have better hours, and things like that. As much as it's not, because you're probably switched on 24/7, I would imagine, thinking about it. But
all the time.
You're in control, hopefully, of that as well.
And this is what I've really enjoyed. And my mum, she phoned me because she's got her own business as well, so she kind of knows what it's like, but a wee bit different. And she phoned me and she went, how is it just being able to control your own life, basically? And I went, the other day I just didn't work because I just went, I don't want to work today. And it was great. And I had nobody telling me and I had no guilt.
Nobody sitting behind your back.
Exactly. Because then I went, well, you know what? I'm just going to go in on Saturday, sit in the office and do that. And that's fine. If my partner's doing something, I'll just go and do that. And that's what that's the biggest thing I love. So
for you as well, because you're quite a people person.
Oh yeah.
So you'll be able to have a wee bit more relaxed conversation with them and actually speak to them like a normal person would, whereas you would have been working for the, you know what I mean, your previous employer, and you would have had to have probably stuck to a certain. You can obviously, you're not a robot at the end of the day. No, you're not a robot, but you wouldn't have been able to say some things that you probably would have wanted to say, or things that you would have wanted to do.
Exactly, and that was the difficulty, was not being in that position where I could kind of make those decisions. I always had to ask somebody else, even just something basic, taking a holiday, for example, and it irritates me. Annual leave, I'm telling you I'm going, I'm not asking, I'm telling you I'm going. And that's what used to annoy me, because I'm just like, they're telling me if I can go on my holiday. Right. So girl, it's already booked. You know what I mean? Like, it's happened. I'm going. But now I'm just the flight's booked, hotel's done.
Whether you give me an offer or no, I'm not here.
You can phone me, I ain't coming in. You know what I mean? But which is great now, because I can take holidays whenever. And you know what I mean? And people always say, oh, you're not going to get paid on a holiday. Well, yes, I will. You know what I mean? Because the way I run my business is completely different from the way a normal consultancy firm would work. We're not a one-off payment thing. That's not what we do. We're a package deal. That's how we deal with it. So you pick a package and you pay the same every month.
So it's not a one-off.
It's not a one-off thing.
And people can call you.
We do one-offs. If people I just want some advice and guidance, that's fine.
If there's like a one-off event or something like that, yep.
That's billable. You know what I mean? But the difference people love me is because I go, right, here's your yearly fee. We split it over the year. And they go, okay. Or I'll go, if you take out this and this, I'll give it for this price monthly. And then that's how we deal with it. Some people that are only taking out one or two things, you know, they may have to pay retainer fees because that's something we kind of talk about. Smaller businesses maybe just want just retainer fees and they just pay that. Then that's for like guidance and advice. So basically I'm on your books. So if you ever need anything, I'm there.
Yep.
And that's how kind of we're working the business is.
You're out with, but you're kind of like an employee.
Yes.
As such, you know what I mean?
So they'll just pay that. And then if they just go, I'm okay anymore, that's fine. We don't stop your contracts. We freeze them because maybe in a couple months you go, well, actually I need help again. Yeah. And it's so much easier than kind of doing everything else, like starting, stopping. And people are finding it more and more easier. And they're actually finding it more helpful because they go, you know, just having somebody on the end of a phone where I can just pick it up, 100%. Have a scream, a cry, and just be like, something's happened. Or if they've got an EHO visit and they go, I fucked up, I don't know what to do. And then I go, right, and I just go straight down there. You know what I mean? And it's so much easier for them because they don't have that. When EHO visits, there's nobody to talk to. You have to deal with it yourself. Mm-hmm. And people are not clued up. I'm not going to lie to you. People are not clued up as much as they think they are. No. Especially people who have maybe run business for 20, 30 years. Yeah, you know how to run a business. But do you actually know how to run the business? You know what I mean? Like it's completely different.
That's one of the things I was going to ask you as well, because obviously businesses that have been around for so long now, regardless if they're big, small, whatever it is, they'll have had certain compliance sort of things that were different. How do you find it? Like now, does it constantly change, or does it keep the same idea for the years?
Yeah, but I think what we're very lucky is food hygiene and all that legislation hasn't changed very much in the years. The biggest change would have been allergens, which is obviously the biggest thing that's happened. So a lot of things around. That'd
be down to like the kind of vegan and all that kind of stuff.
Not even that. No? It's actually the labeling of food has changed. Oh, so if you were to, say maybe couple of years ago, actually maybe even 4 years ago, you could pick up a pre-made sandwich in a shop and it would just have the name of it and that was it, and nothing really else, and the allergen information, and that was it. But now it's completely different because of the wee accident that the wee girl had from Pret a Manger. What was that? So it was a couple of years ago, a wee girl was allergic to sesame seeds and died because they didn't declare sesame
it wasn't labelled
on the label.
You would have thought that would have been like...
So it was a way, so is that, you would think, because it's one of the 14 allergens, but because it was pre-packed on the premises, they didn't need to declare it, even though they should have, they didn't. And then that's when Natasha's Law came into play. So it's a lot of things have changed around that side of things, but actual hygiene standards have been the same since God knows when.
It can be quite a stressful time for people when it comes to obviously reviewing these sort of things. Mm-hmm. What's the kind of recommendation for that sort of stuff, or when you would get involved? Like, I know that you say you have got companies maybe on like a monthly kind of contract retention sort of thing, but what is the ideal sort of a review date? Is it every so often, like every 3 months? Is it a year, like 6 months?
So some businesses, it differs business to business actually, because there's businesses that I deal with that are only wanting one audit a year and that's it. Right, okay. But they're wanting me to train their management staff to do internal auditing. So maybe they're wanting internal auditing done by them, and then I come in and be like, well, actually, you told me you're doing this and you've not done it. That sort of thing. And then I've got another business that wants me to do monthly audits or 2 monthly audits because they've got multiple sites. So technically it's one audit every month, but because they've got multiple sites, each site gets maybe 2 audits a year. Yep. You know what I mean?
Just to make sure that the kind of company
because the
process is
correct, happening. And the companies are wanting to maintain this level of compliance up here.
Yes.
EHOs look for the compliance at minimum level. I'm trying to push businesses up higher than that. Yeah. Because what's the point? You know what I mean? There's no point just sticking at the minimum, because if you stick there, you're more likely to drop. But if you're up here and you drop, you're still above that level.
You're kind of above the average.
Exactly. And that's kind of what we're looking for.
As well as that, because then you're giving people the value for money.
Yeah.
When they're paying that, if it is a one-off, monthly, whatever, you're saying to them, listen, I'm going to take you from here. We're going to go all the way up here.
And the thing, like I said, because we do package deals, it's very bespoke to that individual business.
Right, okay.
I've had businesses that phone me in tears, being like, honestly, we cannot afford to pay the pay whatever you're saying. And I'm not the kind of person who goes, well, tough. You know what I mean? I'll be like, right, what can you afford then? Let's work together and let's see what I can do. And at the end of the day, I'm not a charity. Like, well wishes don't pay my bills. You know what I mean?
What is it? Good exposure.
Exactly. So, but the thing is, even if it's something, you know, £80 a month is still 80 quid a month or whatever.
100%.
But that's still my name out there. And they can go, well, actually, he's helped me and he was really good about it. And that's another reason why I've gone into business, is because I don't like the way management can be. And I've seen firsthand the way things can be handled, and I don't like it very much.
Do you feel like you've taken the bad things from your previous, you know what I mean, your previous career, job, whatever you want to call it, and that's why you've been like, I want to not replicate it as such, I want to better it. Yeah.
And this is the thing. So within my when the business grows, there's no such thing as management in my team. It's leadership, and that's it. Because you can't micro lead, you can only micromanage.
Yeah.
And I do not agree with micromanagement, because one, it demoralizes your staff. People leave, you've got more burnout because people have left, they've got more stress than everyone else. I've seen it.
Yeah.
I've been in that situation when I've been like, I actually can't go to work today because I might actually jump out of a window, because it's just constant. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In this career, in this job, it's just one thing after another, which is great. Don't know, because no day is the same. Every day is completely different. But it's just,
you just never know what you're probably going to walk
you just
into
don't
as
know.
well.
I mean, God, honestly, the stories I could tell when it comes to you think it's okay, I'm just going to go to this little place, it'll be great, and you walk in and you're like, what the heck? Why are you fucking feathers off a chicken? You know what I mean? Like, what are you doing? And they go, oh well, it's for my friend's birthday party. And I was like, get the chicken out of the heat. You know what I mean? Like, don't start with that. And it's just, yeah, honestly, I wish I was lying. I'm really not.
You could probably write a book.
Well, that is on the cards. I was looking to the insights of an EHO, which I thought would be quite funny, because people have no idea. Like, even obviously my mum has worked in food for 30 odd years and she knows EHOs. But when I say to her, oh yeah, well, I was just doing a licensing application for a tattooist, and she goes, why were you doing that? Well, it's us that issue licenses. And she goes, oh. I was like, yeah. So that's, and obviously another part of my company is pre-license checks for tattoo parlors, because what happens, I don't know if you know the license process for tattooing, it's very weird. You have to buy the premises first, purchase it, then get an inspection. But you may fail the inspection because your premises doesn't comply.
Right, okay.
But you have to pay the lease.
And who do you contact if you want to get a place checked?
You contact the LSP Compliance Group. And I'll be right over there.
I'll give you a name.
Exactly, yeah.
Maybe get my money back.
Exactly.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry. But no, it's true. But it's like, so people can phone us and be like, I'm looking at getting a tattoo license. I'm not quite sure the process. This is the premises I'm looking at. Would you mind? And I'll be like, right, let's come out. We'll have a look. And if I say, no, you've not got ventilation, or the lighting's not sufficient, and I'll be like, don't choose this bus, because if you choose it, you're not going to get it.
Oh, so you would be with you could potentially be with the person when they're going to look at
the lease, the
lease stuff,
or whatever, because there's no point signing the lease and then an EHO comes out and goes,
it's wrong.
You can't do that, because they don't think about phoning local government first. You know what I mean? They never think, oh, I'll just phone them, I'll just wait and apply.
Yep.
But again, we don't have that time to go out and inspect every person that wants a tattoo license.
Yes,
like before the license comes in. So that's where I would come in to be kind of like, well, actually, no, you can't, because you need to have these certain pre-license conditions, and then you've got to have your full license conditions at the end of it. So it's kind of how to make it easier for them, because we've been in situations where people have gone for the license and then not got it because the premises doesn't comply.
Some people have jumped the gun and gone a wee bit too quick.
Yeah, that, and then it's just they're stuck in a lease for 6 months and they can't get out, and yet they still have to pay and can't do anything.
What's the saying? Work smarter, not harder.
Exactly.
Yeah, do your research, folks, first before you start.
Oh, absolutely. That's the biggest thing, is people think it's very easy to get a license, which it is, but legally they have 12 months to grant a license.
12 months? Wow.
Start to finish, 12 months. So you could apply for your license now and not get it until next March. realistically, you would get it a lot quicker than that. But
yeah, of course.
But the council have
the potential of it.
Yeah, they have a minimum of 12 months to issue a license and grant it. Mental, isn't it?
I know.
I don't know if I should be telling all this, but I don't work there anymore. What are you going to do? Fire me?
don't. I will be in Paisley anyway, so they can't touch you, don't worry.
Go ahead.
Love to see you try.
Exactly.
You could maybe go in and do an audit and all that sort of stuff.
Could you imagine auditing the council? God have mercy.
I could just imagine, you know. No,
I know.
No.
Well, there was a job opening for the new chief exec officer at the council. I thought, oh, do I dare? I thought, no, I don't know.
I could see you being
just me, the face of Glasgow City.
You can just change the name, LSP.
Could you imagine? Oh my God, the LSP City Council. Honestly, I think my colleagues would probably kill me. So, yeah.
Oh, brilliant. I was just thinking there, obviously we tend to have a lot of like local small businesses listening to here. So I know you've discussed obviously about the kind of types of things that you do, and obviously the licensing and things like that. But what kind of businesses do you kind of target yourself to at the minute? Like, is there a certain bunch of them, or is it really just for any kind of local business, it's big or small? Big
or small, you know what I mean? And we are going through an expansion at the moment within the company ourselves, you know what I mean? And it's the rate of incline is pretty fast, and it's getting to a stage where I'm like, it's the help is needing to have to come soon. But I've not even scratched the surface, you know what I mean? So anybody that is needing help, advice or guidance, the door's open. You know what I mean? We have a registered office now in Glasgow, so West George Street. I was just going to say
congratulations on
yes, your thank you so much. So we've got a cute little office space just for me. It's quite lovely, next to Stacking Still and across from Wagamama's, #Waga Wednesdays. So if there's anybody that's just wanting somewhere to go to have a chat, they're more than welcome to come to the office. They can find me at Wagamama's on a Wednesday.
As long as you're paying.
As long as they're paying, yeah, because I'm not paying for that.
Nah, it's not business.
It's not business, is it? So no, but any business, big or small, even like somebody, I've got some people that in my housing estate have small local businesses from their home. They still need to comply with the same level of hygiene as a commercial premises.
Would that be like kind of bakers and stuff like that? Yeah.
Cake makers, and people think it's so easy just to open a business in your house, which, don't get me wrong, it is easy, but you have to comply with the same level of standards.
You're still dealing with food at the end of the day.
Exactly. And I have gone into houses and I've said to them, I'm so sorry, you can't do this anymore. And they go, why? And I went, because your house is messy. You know what I mean? Because it might be clean, but in the standards of hygiene, it wasn't tidy enough. Yeah. It wasn't clean enough.
Because there's all the things about, like, you know what I mean, having things separate from,
you know what the biggest problem is? Cats and dogs.
Is it? Oh.
People having household pets, because technically pests is a dog and a cat.
Yeah.
They can contaminate food. They can walk all over countertops.
Well, I wouldn't be happy if I was at a restaurant and I seen a cat
walking about,
laying on.
Well, it's better than a rat, I suppose.
Well, that's
and a cockroach crawling up the side of your wall.
Oh, please don't. That just gives me flashbacks to America and our hotel room and the cockroach. We gave it a nickname. We called it Mr. Roach.
Mr. Roach.
Mr. Roach.
Nice.
But it terrified me because one day it came up in the sink and we were like,
and was it like that size?
Huge.
Yeah.
You know what America's like?
American
been eating all the
ones,
food. So I'm like, no chance.
For his tanked, you know?
Walking on his knuckles, you know? I owed it money, to be fair.
Comes up with a gun. Like, where's my money? You go, oh my God. Yeah, I know how you feel.
It's terrifying.
Yeah.
Absolutely terrifying. So, obviously, your new premise and stuff like that. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
I know we talk about it, and we've said that your business and things like that, very new, but are you enjoying it?
Loving
as much as what you would have thought you would have enjoyed it?
More, probably. Actually. Getting the premises was a big step because I was just working from the dining room table. I'm not gonna lie to you, hated it because I've got the fridge, my bed, the television, and it kind of, I don't focus as much because then also I've got the dog, got a wee corgi, by the way, FYI, and he's just always about my feet.
Yep.
You know, just having somewhere that's my space, just mine, nobody else's. It's great. I've got my Joe Malone candle, I've got my computer screens, I've got my table, I've got my mugs, all, you know what I mean? It's just mine, and it's just amazing. And people say to me, do you not wish you did it sooner? And I say to them, honestly, no. I don't. I've done it at the perfect time. I've done this because I honestly wanted to leave my job 4 or 5 months ago because it was complete burnout, and I went, I can't do this anymore.
Yep.
And my lovely accountant went, don't be an idiot. Don't be an idiot. You can't leave yet. And then I phoned her one day and I went, it's time. She went, it's time. And she told me it was time, and that's when I knew I'm going to be all right. It's time I'm going to be all right. And it's just weird being in a position where financially we're okay.
That's brilliant.
You know what I mean? Like starting a business with nothing and boosting it to where it is now and still having money in the bank, not due people anything, not owing anybody anything, and just making my own money,
that feeling,
my own wage. You know what I mean? It's just one month I could be like, you know what, I'm just going to spend $8,000 because I want to. You know what I mean? But and having no guilt, or being like, well, actually, I'm going to take a smaller wage this month, and then and being in control of that money, because then I know what I'm worth.
That's it. Well, that is it. And you know,
and I'm worth a lot of money. You know what I mean? Mama didn't raise no quitter. You know,
weeks and stuff like that where you're like, I want to do this, and you'll be able to free up your own time, and you'll have that flexibility and the freedom to do it. It's just
like next week coming, I'm only working 2 days. You know what I mean? Because I've got friends coming down, and I can just be like, you know, I'm going to take some time off and spend time with them.
Yep.
But then I'll work at the weekend. So it's not a big issue, because the weekend for me is any day. I could take Monday, Tuesday off, Wednesday, Friday, or whatever. But it's just knowing that as long as my clients are happy, I'm happy. And that's the end of the day.
And you're always a phone call.
And I've always got my phone on me. So people phone me all the time, constantly like, hey, is this how I do something? And I go, yes. And
I've seen it because you've got about 4 phones. I've seen it. Must have a phone free.
This watch. I should have 4 watches. I'm arm, one for each phone. People think I'm a drug dealer, actually. Standing on the street, and I'm like, what phone is that? Let me just, oh God, it's
really just a disguise.
It's just a disguise. I couldn't afford Botox on a normal salary. You know what I mean?
Oh, listen, you've been absolutely phenomenal. Is there anything about the business that you want to discuss just before we kind of wrap up? Is there anything out there where you thinking somebody listen to this is like why they should come and use me?
I think if there's anybody out there that's struggling and doesn't really know who to turn to, or just maybe it's not even about environmental health, even if it's anything, you know what I mean? I've got a wide berth of knowledge in not just one aspect. So if there's anybody out there that goes, oh my God, I actually have no idea what I'm doing, or they've been told by the local government, you need to do this and you need it done soon, and they go, right, but I don't know how to do it, please pick up the phone me, email me, website pending, TBC, and it'll have all the information on it. So the website will be fully loaded with information for what you need, who you need, and then our partnerships, because I'm partnered with quite a few good companies.
Oh, brilliant.
So once they go live, once they're happy with it, we're going to go live and partner up. So
well, even then at the minute, until your website also goes live and it'll be launched,
you can Instagram me.
I was going to say, let's go.
You can Instagram me. You can Instagram me at the LSP Compliance Group, and my phone number, or you can pop into the office. You know what I mean? There's multiple ways you can contact
just
me.
Again for the listeners, viewers, where is the office again?
It's 100 West George Street, Glasgow, G2 1PJ.
There you go. You've done that before.
Just a few times. Office 306, thank you.
Is that a buzzer?
There is. Please press buzzer for reception. And one shall come get you.
I honestly thoroughly enjoyed this. It was great, obviously, just to find out a wee bit about your business as well. And I think as well, like, we could probably come back in a couple of months' time, or maybe like, you know what I mean, however long, whenever you're free, obviously, because I imagine you're going to be absolutely heaving.
I'm free anytime for you, Curtis.
I feel like you're going to be heaving. So it'd be good to do like a catch up with you as well, and find out how it's going, obviously, now that you, because I imagine, I'm not just saying after this, whatever, if like this is going to blow you up or whatever, but I know your work ethic and I know what you're like as a person. And I just feel like you're just going to gradually just constantly keep building up clientele after clientele.
And that's the plan. I want to be the name brand of Scotland. There you go. For you.
There you go. Manifesting that.
You know what? Manifest is the way forward, and I want to be the name that people know and trust. You know what I mean? I want it to be all that kind of stuff, because we've got a lot of things coming.
A lot of people probably just rely on local councils and things to go to, so it's nice to know that there's...
And the best thing about me is, once seen, never forgotten, you know?
There you go. I'll never forget this.
No, exactly. I bet you'll be going tonight. You're going, the hell did we talk about? Like, who is that guy? What is he doing? But no,
I have honestly, I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was
it's been amazing.
Such a good conversation, and I really.
I mean, there's a lot more we can talk about, but we haven't got time.
I know. That's it. Well, you'll just need to keep up to date.
Keep coming up.
Keep up to date
Exactly.
with obviously the socials, LSP Compliance Group as well. So keep up, and I'm sure you'll see Liam do absolutely amazing things and working with so many more clients as well.
Absolutely.
And if you do want to get in touch, then you know what to do. Just obviously get in touch. Website coming soon, folks, as well. But listen, for those that were listening on Spotify or those that were watching on YouTube, thank you very much for doing so. If you want to subscribe, you can keep up to date with all the other podcasts as well. And in this podcast, whether it be YouTube or Spotify, you can leave a review. So please feel free to do so if you've enjoyed the episode, and make sure to give Liam here 5 stars as well, because he thoroughly deserves it as well. But listen, all the best for the future, mate.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me. It's been great. First podcast tick.
Done.
What's next?
The follow-up.
Exactly. See you in 2 weeks.
Thanks very much, folks. Take care. We'll see you soon.